Hey, how you doing? It's JB. I wanted to talk about the fact that Jupiter is in the 29th or anaretic degree of Aquarius today. And I think that we're in a bit of a chapter. We had the 24th of July, this full moon at 1 degree of Aquarius, and then on the 22nd of August, we've got this full moon at 29 degrees of Aquarius. So what's going on at the moment is we're really investigating this Aquarian energy and whether it's working for us, how we're manifesting it. And I want to take you back to the 21st of December last year. That was the grand conjunction with Jupiter and Saturn at 0 degrees of Aquarius. And it was such a heavy year, wasn't it? And I remember us astrologers, we were so excited on that day. It was like this big glimmer of hope. It was in the 0th degree, like right, the first degree, so 0 degrees of Aquarius, which tends to have this kind of quite crude, raw semblance of the energy of the respective sign. And I remember the hope and the optimism that day. It was a bit like the star card, you know, after this heavy demolition year, a little glimpse of the future, and indeed the Aquarian age, which if you zoom out is what we're entering into. So I just wanted to talk a bit about Aquarius because I feel this energy is very much going to be part of the next, actually, I mean, till the end of August, but really till the end of the year, because Jupiter is at the anaretic degree, as I said today. He's going to be there for a few weeks. The final degree, the 30th degree, is all about change, really. If you think a planet travels through a sign and it goes from 0 to 29 or 30, and it goes on this journey, so when it comes into 0, it's like a kind of new moon energy. Everything's new and it's very subjective, very new, very excited, and it's the kind of less refined aspect of that sign. Whereas when you've got to the 29th degree, well, number one, there's this sense of change, okay, and instability. But when it gets to the 29th or final degree, there's this kind of shadow side to it as well. It's been on the long journey and it's got this kind of load on its back and it's kind of ready to shift into the new sign. So what I'm trying to say is that right now, when Jupiter's in this final degree of Aquarius, which is going to be for the next month, another time that energy is going to bloom is on the 22nd of August, as I said, with that full moon. And then finally again, when Jupiter comes to the end of Aquarius, because he's in retrograde now, on the 29th of December this year, I feel these are 3 times where we're going to see maybe the shadow side of Aquarius. And what do I mean by that? I mean, Aquarius is an air sign, so the emotions don't really come naturally to it. It likes to rationalize, and yeah, it's a very mature sign. It's the penultimate sign of the zodiac. So, but it's got 1 foot in the past and 1 foot in the future, and it has very high ideals for how society should be run and how everything should be structured. In the greatest good for the greatest number. But what you can get with Aquarius is, well, number one, it can be a bit unfeeling, and number two, if you think of these kind of Uranian slogans that we've had throughout history, and they sound so great and so humanitarian. Oh, it sounds, this sounds like it's going to be for the greatest good and we're helping one another. And then they've ended up in tyranny, time and time again. So this kind of dictatorship energy is definitely the darker side of Aquarius. This humanitarian system is right for you, and I don't care what you feel. There can be that energy to it. So what I'm trying to say is, I feel that we're given a window from last year where we were given this bright hope and optimism with this new age, which indeed we are moving into, right? Because the Piscean age is over now. We're in a very exciting transition period. But I just think that, particularly with Saturn in Aquarius, and Saturn is that old Chronos authority figure, and Aquarius is about society, so restrictions in society. Aquarius is also the internet, so censorship. Social media definitely comes in Aquarius and Uranus. So I do feel that from now to the end of the year, particularly those 3 moments, there's potentially a bloom of that darker kind of despotic side of the sign, particularly because Jupiter basically expands wherever he is, and with Saturn in that sign, that's really going to come out now. So censorship, but you know what? I think this is really something we can work with consciously. I feel it's like we're given an option because we are moving into the Aquarian age, and the movement of the ages, it moves backwards, right? So anything that's on the cusp of 0 degrees Pisces to the last degree of Aquarius, that's a really critical time for us collectively, because that's where we are in the massive picture, right? And so Jupiter expands whatever he touches. So whilst he's here, he's really asking us to examine, well, okay, what is it about the Piscean age that we're leaving behind? And the Piscean age, from a spiritual point of view, was all about the self-sacrifice, martyrdom. It's got that real guru energy about it as well. That's the shadow side of Pisces. Although if you think back to it, if you think back to the age of Aries, I'm sure they're all, really excited about the coming age of Pisces, because it will have been really needed. You get what you needed. You get what you need at the right time. But yeah, we're coming out of this Pisces energy and into this Aquarian energy collectively, which is much more about finding the guru within, really, and self-empowerment and non-hierarchical. But whenever there's anything in this degree either side, it's going to come to light. And as I said, Jupiter expands what he touches. So this is a pretty unique opportunity where we can really consciously work with what we're working towards in the Aquarian age. There's a phrase I came up with which was quantum leap, because I just thought that was very Aquarian. That thing where I think it's the electrons, they're going around one circuit and then bang, in one moment, without apparently moving, they've moved to the higher octave. And I just think that there is potential when we see the shadow and more chaos, more darkness. I just think that's an even greater sign that we're ready for like a jump straight up, like a completely different shift to a brand new level. I don't think that tends to happen with peace and love and light. There tends to be chaos before the upgrade. So yeah, I feel that that's what we're going through now. So yeah, be aware of the authority energy. And I think this is about coming into that star card energy on a personal level, which is very much about being unashamedly yourself, owning your quirkiness. That's the Uranian Aquarian thing. Using that esoteric knowledge, because one of the things I love about Aquarius is it's very future thinking, but it loves to use the tools of the past. So tarot, astrology, all that stuff, amazing time to do that and just really consciously take on this responsibility of this age that we're shifting through, because I think things will get darker, but everything is an opportunity for growth. And for my money, it's basically evidence that we are ascending, because to go to these higher levels of consciousness, all the darkness has to come out with that. So yeah, thank you for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you soon.